Artificial intelligence has been kind of all over the news for the last few months. Ultimately, when we start talking about AI, obviously the first thing we need to talk about is how it's in service to freeing play. Play itself, as we've talked about, is the thing that happens during the beginning and ends of a match, a game. A magic circle is created and it disappears over and over and over as people play chess, as they play Go, as they play Dota, as they play Counter-Strike, or games that will be on our platform, hopefully all of those. As we talk about freeing play, keeping that magic circle strong, artificial intelligence gives us a really interesting set of ways for us to harden that magic circle and keep it strong. When we talk about how AI has been used in the past, chess is probably the most famous one, with Deep Blue and IBM taking on everything. How it learned what it was doing is actually pretty simple. It took all of the data from all the rounds of chess that had been made and probabilistically figured out the best ways to play. This is actually what all AI ultimately is, as we know it today, all the way to large language models like ChatGPT. It's probabilistic based on previous data. So when we take a round or dozens of rounds or hundreds or thousands, and we shrink it down to just the data points, what can we do with that? Well, this recent week, we've actually announced and released our white paper on the efforts we're making internally to utilize this. The first is far more like those old sort of chess systems in Deep Blue. The ability for a player to take all of their own data, let me make sure you own it, and to take those magic circles that are now collapsed into just those data and turn them into clones, turn them into versions of themselves that they can use for other people to train on. They can train themselves against. One of my favorite versions of this that's ever been done is the amiibo for Smash Brothers. If you ever get a chance, it's worth sort of fighting amiibos against each other or seeing how you can train one up. This is a different way for us to talk about that magic circle, because commonly when we talk about monetizing games, we talk about breaking this setup. But if we can harden this and we can have that data turn into a clone that you then have the control to train, to rent, to sell, to have other people train against, it's a way for not only you, but the game developers themselves to monetize around the game rather than the game itself, giving us a chance again to keep play free in every meaning of the word. Now, this works at every level. When we start talking about the more complex versions of it, Go is probably my favorite. As we know, a few years ago, ChatGPT finally defeated Go, and it was a big, long thing. Chess is a little bit more simple. Go is incredibly complex. And so as we start having coaches and as we have people looking over all of these things and telling their players what they need to be doing, players may not even be the best person to interpret it. I've been in sports myself. I know a few esports guys. They're not exactly the best when it comes to overarching strategy. It's much more about the twitch and pushing. But coaches, knowing how they can push, what they need to be doing, how they need to be teaching, and how they need to be using their team, the coaching setup gives us another way to continue to free play. But of course, all of this only really matters if all of this can also be handled the other way that we've even traditionally used AI in the real world, with quants, with AI swapping programs that can buy or sell or trade players. All of these things being quantified, all of these things being placed into AI gives us a chance to take these three sections and turn them into actual chances for monetization that doesn't affect play. And well, there's that worry that, oh no, what about the bots? Will bots be able to destroy everything? Will the perfect strategy be found? And will we ruin everything with this? I want to go back to Go, because very recently we got to see how play can truly be freed and have AI, because someone actually defeated the AI bot, the ultra greatest machine learning system of Go that had ever been done, by using a strategy that was so stupid that the AI had never seen it before. And it had no idea how to respond, didn't even know it was happening. Players and coaches and metagame players, they're the ones who bring that creativity, change the meta, shatter things, and renew this whenever we do one of our internal returns. This data renews, everything renews, and the AI bots can grow yet again in yet another direction, ultimately allowing us to keep play truly free.